anger turns into rage, and of course you want to kill each other, and everybody is doing all kinds of criminality and this and that. Is that part of the human brain? It turns out with a lot of research that this comes from the animal side of the human brain, the mammalian side. So the mammals were needed to save themselves from each other, and they developed a lot of faster motion, like the deer. If they are attacked by a lion, and as soon as the deer sees a lion coming up, it has to go within seconds to run away from the situation. Otherwise, it's going to lose its life. Or if somebody sees a snake, like one of us suddenly we get a snake. Even right now, the second part of the animal brain, that is the one that gets into action, and within instance, before you have time to think, there will be a reaction, and the emotions will make you make a dash for it. But if you think, some people of course stop and try to kill it. So that's what's called a response to fight or flight. If you have a fight with your wife, also sometimes people, one of the partners will run away. The other one will be fighting and shouting. Sometimes, of course, both of you are fighting and shouting, both of us, I should say. Because then we think that the other guy, we are equal, and we are very much, we can counteract each other, so both are fighting. Sometimes, of course, one person feels, the guy attacking me is, stronger, so better run. So all that running and all that fighting is part of this mammalian brain. This part here is also shown here on the side. What is shown inside that part, the one I just pointed to. It's also called the limbic system, and it has a very important part in it called amygdala. That amygdala is the one that is full of emotions, and it has very, very necessary for people to run away and save themselves. Not people, the animals had to run away and save themselves. It's not needed so much nowadays when we have grown up to be human, but since it's there, and people get triggered off very quickly, and this brain takes over and the emotions run amok, and you get very angry and very, very in a fighting position. The third thing that happened was after you might say the modern mammals, after a little stage, plus including the human beings, they developed a thinking brain, which is this part here, and this is the picture from the top. In the humans, this part of the brain is called the cortex. Is the largest one on earth for anything compared to any animal, larger than the elephant or the shark or whatever. The closest that comes to human brain is the chimpanzee or the one of the fishes, dolphin. Yeah. Dolphin. The dolphin has a very big brain also, but something has happened, maybe because of the size or some, the scientists are confused how the human brain, of course, has increased in size, but it is completely different from animals. Whatever is common with the animals relates to the body, but here is something new that has happened when human beings develop this brain. Very, very unique, very, very complex. It beats the computer any day in its complexity. Of course, the computer can do a lot of things very, very fast, all mathematical calculations and this and that. But the brain has many other aspects which are very interesting and very, very different, which they say computer can never probably reach it or mimic it. This comes from another classification. Not very long ago, of course, the scientists discovered that this part of the brain is actually two brains. There is a line right in the center. It goes through here and like that. Probably shown in different places in these two drawings. In the central line, in the central drawing, you can see there's a sort of a connection between the two parts of the brain. This is called corpus callosum. So this and the lower portion of the brain, of course, they have connected the two parts together. So for a long time, for like say 200 years past, everybody slowly when have discovered, and the idea was to go for things that are only intellectual. Even Babaji just said that the Quran is talking about you have the wahi and then you have your intellect, fikr. But probably we can say that what he means is what I'm going to say now. It's something bigger, something higher. Fikr is not only, because right now they're using the word intellect or akal for only part of the brain. The left side of your brain has a very intellectual aspect. It is the thinking brain. The right side of the brain has been classified and recently found out, of course, that this is the emotional brain or the feeling brain. And we see it in Dr. Iqbal's poetry all the time. He says, akal and ishq are fighting each other out all the time. बेखतर कूद पड़ा आतिशे नमरूद में इश्क अक्ल है महवे तमाशाए लबे बाम अभी. That's one of the famous couplets. He is always saying, okay, the akal is there and it is very slow, takes a long time to decide anything, stays away from any real passionate action. But something else which he said is in the heart. In your heart was supposed to be your ishq, your feelings, your passions. Everybody in all cultures have always said the heart is the place where all these things happen. Of course, you think with your brain, and this is what happens. But now, this has moved from the heart into the brain itself. Heart is just a pump of pumping blood into your system. So the rest of the brain has been discovered as the one that was the ishqiya, whatever, the one that falls in love, the one that is has feelings, the one that has emotions. So some people, of course, up till now, all the books are divided. They say the left side of the brain is the important one. Some have now begun to say, no. The right side of the brain is the important one. Some others, of course, want to say the brains have to be combined together to make a very good human being or a person who's going to be wanted in the world to come now. So the left side of the brain is said to be, because mathematics is its main, let's say it's very good in mathematics. This is why they say the males are better in mathematics compared to females, because somehow the females use the right side of the brain more and the males use their left side of the brain more. But of course the girls who are studying in competition, they have proved it wrong. They said they are as good as the boys are. So somehow or the other there was a time in the beginning when everybody wanted to make it very attractive. They said one brain is called the male brain, the other one is called the female brain. The left side is called the male, the right side is called the female. They said females use it dominantly, this one, and the males use the left one, but it doesn't apply, of course, anymore. That's become a very simplistic way of trying to make people understand. Actually, the whole brain is working all the time. Both sides of the brain are working all the time. The central part, called the corpus callosum, is the one that makes them come together. Maybe you heard, I'm going to finish very quickly, that people have, the children sometimes have a lot of seizures. Some people have seizures. Of course, we've seen people fall down in Karachi, and he's on the road, and everybody comes around and surrounds him, and somebody says, oh, take the shoe and show him with the nose and he'll be okay, which surprisingly I've seen happen. So there must be some connection between the very, very bad chemicals that go through his nose and make a quick effect probably on his brain, and people will revive and then they have it again and again. So there are, during the two brains were actually discovered when doctors start, before that for a long time have been cutting the brains of the people from the center who had seizures. To stop the seizure, they said there's no other place except if the left brain is having a seizure, take it out. If the right side is having a seizure, take it out. Or remove the center part of the brain, and that stops the seizures most of the time. But what really resulted in, if you remove, for example, the right side of the brain, this guy is all the time he's terrific, of course, in talking and in mathematics, in writing, in speech, but he cannot, let's say, understand, doesn't have any emotions. He's flat, that's what they say. That person becomes very flat, does not have deep emotions, cannot understand, like minor variations in poetry and things like this. That doesn't happen with him. On the other side, if you remove the left side, and only the right side is left with people, they become very weepy and they're crying, and there's a lot of emotions and feelings are really surging all the time, and there is no control from the other side. So in a normal human being, the two sides work together. This has been proved, of course, by all the recent, what science has to offer now, the different imaging techniques. One of them is called MRI. Probably everybody's heard about it now.
Yeah.
And fMRI also, and there is other, the CAT scan and PET scan, and there's so many varieties of these. They're actually taking real good pictures of your brain all the time, and the data is so much that there's a spurt of work on the brain now based on the fMRIs of different people's brains. And every time you see a brain, there's a chemical, things are happening in his brain, electrochemical material, so that can be photographed. And it's on the top page of this book. All these pictures are from MRIs, and here you can see that both sides of the brain, or the whole brain, is actually full of color. All the time it's active. But sometimes they do find out that in the MRI some part of the brain is more active and some are less, and this is why they have been able to classify the brain into smaller little parts. There is a speech part, there is a thinking part, there is an emotional part, there is an artistic part, and there is so they have actually divided the brain again into two. The left brain is, they say, analytical. It goes into details, very good at management. But on the other side, the right brain is takes the whole picture. It is very synthetic. I mean, it can do synthesis, not synthetic. It is good at synthesis, not analysis. And it has the right brain makes a big picture, whereas the other one makes a small picture, the left brain. The left brain has been able to make the computer. So that is the final product of the left side of the brain, the intellectual brain, which has been, of course, most of the people want to have, all the universities, all the schools, all the colleges, they all test your left side of the brain only. And they want students like that. They always think the other guy is crazy. If somebody is more emotional and is more artistic, or trying to play music while everybody else is doing his, mathematics, or if he's interested in drawing or design and things like this, then they are considered a little bit off. But we'll talk about this the next time, how the brains are becoming very, very important, and how the left brain is losing its value in the present world of the computers, but the right brain is going to become more and more important. And all the new jobs will probably relate to more, especially in America. All the jobs are being lost in America, in Canada, in Europe. People with all the computer degrees are not getting any jobs. Who's doing the jobs actually? It's gone to India, to China. Everybody in India is working on the computer for 7,000 rupees. The guys here are working for $70,000. So there are no more jobs for them. Gora people especially. So they are in a big problem. And the answer is coming out on the studies of the brain, what they have to do, what should be done. I guess I'm not going to talk about anything from the Quran itself, so we'll have to ask Shahid to next time let me speak again, and that we'll complete the other part of the lecture later.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Masalam.
اسلام صاحب, وقت کی پابندی اس لیے کی جاتی ہے کہ بہت سے احباب کو جلدی ہوتی ہے درس کے بعد جانا چاہتے ہیں, تو اس لیے ٹائم کی اس حوالے سے, ورنہ تو ہمارے پاس یہ جگہ 3 بجے تک ہے, جتنا بھی اور بات کرنا چاہیں ہو سکتی. ٹھیک ہے آئندہ ان شاء اللہ اگر آپ چاہیں گے تو اس کو دوسری نشست بھی کر لی جائے گی. تو ایک بار میں پھر آپ کو یاد دلانا چاہوں گا کہ آئندہ 10 ان شاء اللہ 13 فروری کو ہوگا نیچی گیسمنٹ میں, اور فیملی آف دی ہارٹ کا جو پروگرام ہے وہ 23 جنوری کو ہے, اور 2 بجے سے 5 بجے کے دوران یہ ولسن اور کی اسٹریٹ پہ واقع جو لائبریری ہے اس میں. بہت بہت شکریہ. چائے کا انتظام ہے, اس پہ بہنوں سے